morning, welcome back to the DuckHill workshop. My name is Ben, and I'm really glad. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. Because we've made progress, a ton of progress, after what seems like a lot of slow going. It finally feels like this is coming together. The most recent veneer panels have their first coat of tried and true oil. They'll get another coat this afternoon. And all 6 of the dust frames, yep, I can count, there's 6, are done and pre-sanded. So I've made everything, all of the parts and pieces that are going to get finished have been sanded to 220 grit, except for the top. So I still have to do the top, which I think once we get the side cases into glue up is what we're going to do. So that's the exciting thing today. I need to build another, hold on. I need to make another doweling jig for the legs that'll actually be to put the dust frames and attach them to the legs. So I want to dowel those in together as well. And then yeah, we're going to glue up those side panels and start actually making some progress. And on top of that, the other thing that we're going to do is, well, I think we're going to do this. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. You'll find out by the end of this video, is whether or not I'm going to pre-finish the components before glue up. Well, we'll see. Might do some of them, not all of them. I don't know, but that's the basic update, and let's get to it. Alright, so I've done a little bit of layout work. This is the width of my jig, and then I've done where I'm going to drill my holes on the front. I'll show you this a little closer up when we get to the drill press. Got my 1/4 inch spade bit, and we're just going to go put 2 holes in it right now, and then we'll put a cap on it. And actually we're going to put a piece on 2 sides, because what I want it to do is sit in here and register relatively. So it'll have a piece up top that'll then let us align with the edge of the dust frame, and it'll also just have a piece on the bottom here so that it sits in this dado better. Alright, to the drill press. Alright, as you can see, while I was sanding this, I realized that I had forgotten, how do you forget about these? I'd forgotten that there were knot holes in this desktop, so I decided to fill them with some epoxy, mixed it up, did a little bit of that, so we gotta wait for that to cure now, and so I'm gonna try and putz with a couple other things. The doweling jig is made, I'm waiting for the glue to dry on that, so I think what I'm gonna do, I think it's about time to put another coat of oil on the second set of veneers, so we'll do that, and we'll keep moving. Alright, so my little jigger is ready to rock and roll. I tested out one of the frames. I'm just going to go through and jam out the rest, and then what I realized is when I made this, I was really hoping to not have to make any adjustments, but when it comes to doing the legs, I have a problem, because this piece interferes with the drill. So when it comes to doing those, I'm going to have to cut that down. So, oh well, but I'm going to go ahead and jam out the rest of these. except for that one. That one's still got glue residue. Alright, so in the process of test fitting this still, and I'm not 100% sure what happened. I'm still kind of trying to figure that out, but my dowel joints don't line up. So, and they weren't really necessary per se. I just kind of wanted it for that extra little bit of structure because I have these dados in the frame for each dust frame to sit in. But I just wanted a little extra step of stability, structure. So that didn't work, but I did test fit, and for the most part we're in good shape. And I was test fitting some of the components from my mom's existing desk, and the only thing that fits is the pull-out writing desk, like the extra little writing surface. All the drawers are like a 32nd of an inch too thick, too tall. So I probably could fit them, but I guess we're just gonna have to get cracking on the drawers for this. I was kind of hoping to recycle the older drawers and then at least be able to get this out of the workshop in a timely fashion and then be able to build drawers. But I guess we're gonna have to do it all in one go, which is fine. Other than that, what I think I'm gonna do now is glue up the side panels, the case sides, since this has a coat, and actually it's time to recoat it. But I think I'm gonna do that before I call it a wrap, before I wrap this up. The only other thing here, I'm gonna come around to the front to show you this. So some of these joints are not perfect. And we'll see how much of that gets, like once there's a clamp at every cross piece, we'll see how much of that gets cleaned up. But so obviously there's a learning curve to doing these things by hand. Alright, so I was just doing an outro, just like, hey, thanks, great, whatever, this is where we are, because this is just clamped up in dry fit. And I'm really nervous. Like, now the next step is to glue up these side frames, and that just makes me really anxious, and I really want to not do it and like go home for the evening, have a beer, think about it. And I texted a picture of it to my wife, and she told me to suck it up and just glue them up tonight so that I can get the rest of the case, get all the dust frames glued in on Sunday. So we're gonna do it. So, thank you, Megan. I love you. All right, we're gonna do a dry run, kind of test the clamp up, see what our best practice here is, and then we'll actually do this. Cool. All right, that is the beginning of glue up, Both case frames are in glue. I almost, as you saw at the end, I almost forgot to put in the real show panels. So that's awesome. Those will dry over the weekend. The epoxy that I poured on the top will cure over the weekend. And then I'll be able to come back and hit it next week and start fitting the dust frames in, trimming the top to width, or not to width, but squaring up the ends, sanding down all that epoxy, which is going to take forever. If you ever sanded epoxy, you know. And because it's too wide to run it through my planer. Anyways, that's a wrap. That's everything. I am excited. Thank you so much for joining me on this. We still have no idea if it's going to turn out. I know that the dowels from the dust frames into the case frames aren't right. I'm not 100% sure what I screwed up on those, but I did, and we'll talk about that when we try to glue up the case frame next week. So we're almost there. I appreciate you along for the ride. I'm stoked. That was exciting. I'm going to go have ice cream or something. It's a little warm in here. So until next time. Hey guys, I just want to touch base really quick at the end of this video to say thank you to everyone who's been following along. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. We are so close to being done with this desk, and we are so close to our goal of 100 subscribers. So if you've liked following along with this video, if you've enjoyed the content, if you've learned something, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. I really think you won't want to miss the final installments of getting finish on this and actually installing it in my mom's office. So hit that subscribe button, and as soon as we hit 100, we will have a giveaway for our new hats that are a little delayed, but they're on their way. So subscribe, hit the bell, and be sure to follow along. I'm glad you're here.